Why are you here, Klingon? With them? Did they capture you too?
They are not my captors.
Hello, welcome back to Star Trek Sodium. This week I've dug up a whole bunch of facts all about the classic episode from Next Generation Season 4, Suddenly Human, whereby a young man living with the Talarians is discovered to be a missing grandson of a Starfleet admiral. And here's the facts that you didn't even know. The Talarian captain, Endar, is played with hypnotic grace by actor Sherman Howard, who was hand-picked for the part by Michael Piller, who was extremely impressed with his acting work in Day of the Dead, playing the part of Bub. The original actor chosen for the part of Endar, though, was Carry On star Charles Hawtrey, who was unfortunately unable to play the part as he was completely dead by the time of filming this Hensing episode. Allegedly, during a crucial scene between Captain Picard and Commander Riker, the actors and cameramen were all distracted by seemingly endless creaking coming from above. Investigating the sounds, the director reportedly took matters into his own hands and climbed up a network of ladders and struts, only to discover the Wesley person actor oscillating furiously out of sight of everybody on a high platform in the studio. Immediately aware that his creaking had been annoying to people, the Wesley person apologized profusely and put an immediate stop to his oscillations. Future Chakotay actor Robert Beltram was eager to get his foot in the door of Star Trek and so auditioned for the part of Jeremiah, despite being 10 years too old and not Talarian. The problem with not being Talarian could be easily rectified with hours in Michael Westmore's famous makeup chair, but his age just couldn't be hidden. Filming had to be stopped when the Dr. Crusher actress let out an unscripted scream during a pivotal scene. Reportedly, a slug was making its slow and slimy journey over Marina Citrus's uniform, and its uninvited presence gave the Doctor quite the shock. Marina explained that the garden nuisance must have hitched a ride with her by nestling into the uniform when Citrus had it hanging out to dry after washing it in her celebrity apartment in the Hollywood Hills. It's lucky that Lever Burton got to wear a protective visor over his chubby face in Suddenly Human, as he had possibly suffered a disturbing food poisoning side effect that would make everybody's stomach turn. The previous night he had eaten some suspiciously undercooked seafood at the restaurant that he owned with his cousin Tim. The epiphora caused yellow and green sticky fluid to emit from the pupils in his eyes, which quickly crusted over. Apparently, when he removed his visor after the day's acting, there was built-up pus in exactly the shape of the visor, which had hardened, and it had acted like a big pus mould. The Worf actor had earlier in the day been filming an exciting scene for Star Trek VI, The Unforgiven Country, and had rushed over to the Next Generation set to film his scenes for Suddenly Human. The makeup and hairstyle for the two Worf characters was subtly different, and that's why if you thought that he looked slightly different in one scene in this episode, that's exactly why. He actually does look a little bit different. Rumour has it that Lorimar Productions, the production company behind 1967's Star Trek, staked a claim on this Hensing episode, as it was basically the type of episode that they would have liked to have made. Lorimar argued that the finalized episode should be integrated into the original series as the 80th official episode. A tribunal officiated by Paramount executive Sophie Kebabtrap was put into motion, but thankfully for our friends over at The Next Generation, this episode was retained as a Next Generation episode, but the case will be up for review again in the year 2047. Patrick Stewart's stuntman, Louis Driver, was reportedly mistakenly filmed playing as Captain Picard for an entire scene on the bridge of the Enterprise. Nobody noticed until the real Patrick Stewart arrived at the studio late after having missed his damn bus. Walking into the studio to see Captain Picard already on the bridge was enough to make the elderly actor faint right there on the spot until he woke up later. Rumours persist about the young data robot actor, Spiner, refusing to touch certain buttons on the Enterprise bridge consoles as they were made from ivory from elephants' noses, which would contravene his moral beliefs as a member of the Save the Elephants Society. Despite Rick Berman ordering the pale actor to press the buttons, he would refuse until red in the face, which eventually led to the ivory buttons being replaced by cheap plastic imitations. Thankfully, though, as an ivory enthusiast himself, apparently Rick Berman would keep the buttons for himself, for old time's sake. While Suddenly Human was being filmed with the studio's video cameras, a mutant had arisen from the sewers running underneath the Star Trek Studio 9 building. The first to notice the mutant was the Harridan, Gatesmuk, who perceived its acrid smell. As everybody looked around trying to discern where the pungent stench was coming from, the mutant slowly climbed into the studio, breaking through the floorboards, leaving a noxious trail in its ghastly wake. As it scanned the room for its first victim, it shrieked in a blood-curdling wail that would stay with the cast and crew forever. Thanks for checking out my super duper facts all about The Next Generation's Season 4 episode, Suddenly Human. Not really a best episode of the season, but it's okay. It's just one of those okay episodes. And if you think these facts are okay, you can please go ahead, comment underneath, hit me a like, and hit me with one of those nice big fat subscribes that I like. I'll see you next time, and come back next time for some more Star Trek facts that you didn't even know. Bye!